Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Well, things kind of feel real today. Today I've been here 2 weeks, and normally this would be the day I would be getting on a plane to head back to Costa Rica. So now it's starting to sink in that I'm here for a while, but it's all good. I'm kind of settling into my routine here, and it's working pretty fine. I actually had dinner with my mom last night. I made pad thai. I put my pad thai over zoodles and koodles and chopped cabbage and my raw stuff, and I made some rice noodles for her, but she was able, we were able to enjoy a meal together. So yeah, I'm finding fruit, I'm finding bananas, and I just keep on moving ahead like I would do. But anyhow, I'm here today. We're going to talk a little bit more psychology success. I want to talk about how to succeed on the raw vegan lifestyle, and this will really apply to so many things in life in general, I believe anyway. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button now. Click on the little bell and check send notifications so you will stay subscribed to the channel. Yeah, this one today will be a little bit off the norm. This is not your how to be successful with these recipes or this strategy or whatever. This is more of a mindset. This is more getting into a little bit of the psychology of it. Or it's basically, I don't know if it'd even be called the psychology. It's just basically living it, and not, I guess what I wanted to say to start off with is you have to embrace this wholeheartedly. You have to embrace this lifestyle wholeheartedly. I'm going to refer to my notes here because as last night I was making some notes for this. Don't overthink it. You really just need to be it. I remember a friend one time, and he's kind of a stubborn guy, but it was very interesting. He had smoked a long time, and he was a regular smoker. I don't know how much he smoked today. He smoked at least a pack a day. Probably more, and had smoked for many years. And if you've ever known how people, have problems with that, he had never tried to quit smoking before, but he decided that then and there he wasn't going to smoke anymore. Now some of us, we gave him a hard time, like, yeah, it's not going to be that easy. And he did. He just quit, and he never touched a cigarette again. And I asked him, sometimes I said, well, how was it so easy for you to do it? Or why is it that so many people fail? And he said from day one, the day he put down cigarettes, he just saw himself, imagined himself, envisioned himself, visualized himself as a non-smoker. He wasn't a smoker anymore. So anytime there would even be that remote go to a cigarette, there was just something in his head that said, wait a minute, you're not a smoker anymore. And that worked for him. I believe we just have to, like I say, some things like this, to me, you can't intellectualize this. There's so many people trying to make this, like I say, like a diet or like this intellectual practice, of like, okay, if I do this, this, and that. You have to become a raw vegan, or you have to become whatever you want to be, whatever you're trying to be. I don't want to contradict myself because I've just done a transition video and I'm always talking about steps to get there. But sometimes all these steps, all this stuff, it's just intellectualizing this process instead of just becoming how we want to be. And I think there's a lot of simple psychology we can use in this and in a lot of things in everyday life just to be more successful. I think I talked about that last week. I think it was from that reading that I did on Saturday about seeing yourself how you want to be, seeing the results. What was the exact little phrase? Something about the fruits, like seeing the fruits before they come, or seeing the results ahead of time, like being able to really like project yourself and see yourself as that person, or see yourself as you want to be. I used this a lot from the very beginning. Like I say, when I got rid of my old lifestyle, I just kind of like, it was almost like I stepped out of one skin and into the other. There wasn't a whole lot of, like moving towards it, or like this or that. For me, there was just, and like I say, everybody's circumstances are differently, and it was probably just a big need for me, but I had so much garbage in my life. I needed drastic change, and I needed it quickly. I don't think I would have had the patience where I was in my life, in my journey at the time, to have worked my way, you know, tick, 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 backtrack, fail, tick, 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 tick. Now, not to say I did things perfectly, but almost from the very first, well, I've told my story, I'll briefly retell it, from the very first weekend that I ever saw videos and started reading material about the raw vegan lifestyle, and then started looking more into just the vegan thing, plant-based, the health aspect of it, the ethical aspect of it. It took immediately, it made sense. So from that day forward, and I made a lot of mistakes. Don't let me, when I say I didn't fail, I didn't go back and forth from, like, you know, vegan to not to eating animal products or to eating really horrible. I just didn't do it. I didn't necessarily do raw vegan in the best way possible. It took a little while to learn, but from that very first weekend, I just took on a mindset that I was a raw vegan. From that weekend, I pretty much, like I say, I'm not now, once again, too, I know I don't talk about the labels. I mean, I'm not all into the labels, but it was I like to think of it as a description. We can think of things like raw vegan, plant-based as labels, or we can think of them as descriptions. They don't define everything about us, but they're just another description of us. So from that very beginning, I embraced it. I was a raw vegan. Now, about how many months before that, I had embraced becoming, at the same time I embraced not drinking. And from the time I kind of stopped drinking, I just wasn't a drinker anymore. I wasn't a smoker anymore. It was just a time for a profound change in my life. And I don't know, I mean, maybe these were just personal experiences based on where I was at my time, or maybe these are truths and little things that can help other people. But yeah, anything we really want, anything that's going to be a major change in our life, anything that's going to, that's just as big as this is about, changing our health, changing our mentality, changing the way we look at the world, even the ethical aspect of it, changing the way that I've come to look at, the animals and everything. It was just one profound thing that all of a sudden, boom, I saw myself as this new person. And I didn't sit around and dwell on the guilt of the past, or, oh my God, well, I was such a horrible person, or, oh man, I was doing this terrible. No, just immediately I was this person. So I know this might be rambling a lot, and I didn't I've got my notes, but I didn't exactly make bullet points to keep it all that organized. I just had a lot of different feelings. It's kind of like, it kind of goes back to, I'll be a little silly here, but not here for a minute. Kind of goes back to the whole thing, like my mentality back from day one on a lot of things is back to the philosophy of Yoda or the Tao of Pooh. Just simply being, not this process, not like I'm doing a raw vegan thing, or I'm working towards being raw vegan, or I'm working towards being plant-based, or I'm working towards being successful in business, whatever you might want to apply this to, rather than I am. I just simply am. The whole Yoda thing. There is no try, there is only do. You just do it. You wake up, you live it. You wake up, you wanting to be plant-based. I woke up, I just routine. I had blueberry and ice cream this morning. I will have a smoothie or something and some fruit at lunch, and then I will have a salad at dinner, because that's who I am and that's what I do. And that's my life. And, like the Tao of Pooh, for some people that might not be familiar, it's just more like if you know the characters of the Pooh story. All the other ones are filled with anxiety and they have their different ways of doing it. And Pooh is just kind of the Zen master. He just is. He doesn't think about it too much. He doesn't intellectualize it too much. He's just in the moment. And I think with most things in life, if we take them out of our head and just become them, if we just live them instead of this thinking about them, how are we going to get there? What's our process? What's the plan? What is the tick, tick, tick? And take out all this stuff, it just seems to be, it just seems to be more practical. It seems to be more, a truer way to get there, so to speak. But anyhow, just a totally rambling video today with some thoughts of mine, but it really is something, you know, sometimes these videos, I think like, okay, are they even going to get, am I communicating what I want to communicate there, or are people like, oh my God, this guy's totally gone off the rails? But yeah, I totally believe that a lot of things is just about, you know, I used to think the whole visualization thing, and visualization is a little bit different, because visualization, we're kind of seeing ourselves how we want to be into the future, where I'm talking about just being, but we can also see that too. We can use all the little tricks we need to get there. And instead of, like, you know, like I say, you know, Weight Watchers, all these diets, get rid of every mentality you've had before, especially when it comes to the food part, but also in life. You know, I'm trying some new things in life. I'm trying a lot of new approaches in life that I hope will pan out for me, because and listen, don't ever think I've got it all figured out. I've made more mistakes in 53 years than probably most of y'all put together. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.